Data Growth will schedule your tasks for you based on a single input for your clients. And then we automatically reschedule those tasks and deadlines for future dates as prescribed by the Namibian government. You can toggle these deadlines from within the services section of a client. And our aim is to reduce your stress, reduce the amount of things that you need to physically remember, and help you just keep your place, make sure that you can service each client fully, and that you don't incur any penalties because you forget a deadline. If you have staff working for you, so a team of accountants or clerks or juniors, you are encouraged to invite them all onto Data Grows because we have automated timekeeping, the task management that I mentioned, and we're then going to give you accurate reporting and insights into each team member, each client, and it also holds each team member accountable for the tasks that they are responsible for and empowers and equips them to care for each client correctly. You are busy with the beginner training for Namibia. We are going to hold a intermediate as well as an advanced webinar session where we'll go into further detail, things like BIPA, beneficial ownership declarations and stuff like that. But for now, I'm going to help you and show you how to onboard your client data. The way that you will be able to do that is either directly from the client's table. You can click add record, and here you will be able to capture the details of the client, so their status, their entity type, year end, their statutory registration details, as well as the services that you offer for them. If you have a whole host of clients, the way that you can get them into Data Grows in bulk is via the data upload screen. Here you will click add record, choose the client's document type, choose your firm name, and then you will simply check the checkbox for that record and then go to the action generate Excel. This will then generate the Excel template for you to download in the document column. And this Excel then contains all the headings that are available for bulk upload in the client's table. It is a XLSX file, not a CSV that you might be used to uploading in other systems, because things like ID numbers and tax numbers and cell phone numbers tend to drop the zeros when you open an Excel spreadsheet. We have formatted every column according to its type, and we've given you the available drop downs in each column so that you cannot make a mistake when uploading your client's information. The second row explains what each column means and does, and you can then complete this Excel spreadsheet to get as much client's information in as possible. The ones that are marked in a color are the most critical. So client name, status, entity type, year end, their ID, passport number, company registration number, and then the services. These are the task deadlines that you can trigger. And we've given you the same drop downs that you would have in Data Grows in each and every column. You can do this upload multiple times so that if you want to start with just the critical information and then later fill in things like emails and cell phone numbers and addresses, you can do that. And you can also upload your clients in sections. So first all your individuals, then your companies, etc. It's completely up to you how you tackle this data upload. Once you have completed the information, you will save it as an XLSX file, so don't change the file type. And then you can upload it back on that client record and click submit and save. And Datagrows will process it for you quite quickly, as you can see, and then let you know how many records it's inserted, updated, and in total processed. If you struggle at all with this step, please do reach out to support. We will gladly check the file to make sure that all the validations are correct, and we can also upload it for you free of charge. So please do shout if we need to assist you. Next, I want to help you navigate around Datagrows. The basic menu on the left-hand side will take you to the main tables at the top, and then each task department has the individual task tables and their corresponding archive tables in those groupings. On any table, which is the section displayed on the right, you can easily pin a column to the left if the table is a little bit too wide when you scroll. We recommend pinning certain columns so that when you scroll, you can still see the client, for example, and other important information as you navigate to the right. And unlike Excel, where freeze panes only catches everything to the left of that, you can pin any number of columns in any order and scroll from there. You can also set your number of rows in every page. For best speed and processing power, we recommend 50 to 100 rows, but it can handle many rows if you have lots of clients or lots of tasks, and you can then set that customization at any time. You can also customize your columns and order of columns. Clicking on the reorder columns, you can easily drag columns that matter higher up, and less important columns can then move further right, so that when you access a table, everything you need is instantly in your view. You can also hide unimportant columns easily. And the nice thing is that when you do hide a column, so those have been hidden, you can click on show all columns and they will reappear on the right-hand side or wherever you hid them. But you can simply click hide columns again to then clear them. You don't have to come and uncheck them in the columns section again. The clients table is probably the most important table in Datagrows. It's the source of truth from which many things flow and happen. And so it's very important that you are comfortable with it, that you reorder and set your columns the way you need them. And to add a client, as I said, is really easy to do. You'll simply click add record and capture their information. I'm going to do one with you so that you can see how easy it is to do. Okay. Registration dates critical for their annual return deadline. Statutory registration information is great to just access quickly when you need it. And then to toggle the services are easy peasy. So and then you'll click save. you'll see that where fields are missing or selections are missing, that will prevent a task from scheduling. It's the most important thing in our lives is making sure we meet the deadlines that we commit to. Data Grows will give you those missing fields and warnings so that the tasks do schedule. So it's really foolproof to add a client. Once you do add the client, if you click Save and Edit on a record, it will reopen with any additional tabs available at the top. From within any client, you can access the All Tasks Due detail. Now, this filters that dashboard only for that client. Here you can see I have the annual return due today, VAT return due tomorrow, accounting due tomorrow, payroll due tomorrow, and then upcoming tasks later on. And this is a quick way to check what's happening on a client. Is anyone behind? What are the notes and progresses made? So that if the client is on the phone and panicking, you can give them really quick feedback. You can then also access additional tables at the top. Things like additional bank account details you can store here. This is very helpful for bookkeeping. If they have multiple bank accounts that need to be reconciled every month, like to keep a record of them here. Also helpful for the financials to know which bank accounts need a statement at year end and a recon, etc. The additional information tab gives you access to capture a whole host of extra information not available on the main details tab, as well as changes to these various things. And you can store documents here as well. The client roles is a really great way to assign your team to the client. We will cover this in the training later on, but it's really important to know that Data Grows is your micromanager, but in the least bossy way, in the sense that you will tell each accountant what task and client they are responsible for, and they simply need to access Data Grows and see exactly that they are the team members responsible, and everyone can collaborate really easily on a task. The directors tab is a great space for you to keep your directors register of the active directors for your clients. And we do use these in the BIPA beneficial ownership declaration. Required documents is a great place for you to store your list of required documents per entity type, and then templates and documents can be stored here as you get those documents together. And then you'll see that you can access every task table from within a client as well as their billing setup and time logged as well. So whenever you access a tab within a client, it will filter on that task table for you only for that client. So again, helping you to focus. If it's a client that's really far behind and there's a huge deadline, this helps you to just stay focused on that client. You can also, from within the clients, access their share register, where you can create share certificates that are generated within Data Grows. If I show you how easy that is. We save the record and then it does generate. The share certificates do currently say SA. I will get that fixed to Namibia, but that is a formatted share certificate that you can then download and have signed by the shareholder. Next, I want to explain a bit of the basic workflow in Data Grows, a typical morning and day in the app, and how you will go about completing your tasks. The reason why this table is at the top is because it is the second most important after the clients, but for your day-to-day task management, this is the table you will predominantly work from. Every single task has a deadline, especially the automated tasks that we create. We then indicate the period for you so that you know which year or month or week or cycle you're busy with, the name of the task. And then there is also a link on this dashboard to the main task table. So if I need to do a payroll over here, you will see that the payroll then jumps to that task and filters on that client for that deadline. Every single task then has these lovely workflows where you can keep your place. So things that tend to require a bit of client feedback and approval in my practice particularly would fall through the cracks. So we would forget that the client needed to approve of that before we submit it, and then remember to ask them to go and release the funds. For payroll, for example, we run it and then send it to the client, and then they might approve it, they might come back with changes. If you don't have a place to track that and actually keep your place, it becomes so stressful, and we start to resent our clients for any kind of feedback or back and forth because, where do you track it all? How do you get paid for this back and forth? And Data Grows is that safe space to do that. So you will navigate from your all tasks due detail to the main task table where you can keep track of those workflows, but you can then also make notes and log your time automatically. And I will cover the timekeeping function in more detail a little bit later on. All of your deadlines are correlated into quite a few reports to help you plan your time and make sure you don't miss any deadlines. But every Monday morning, you'll get an email from us giving you your to-do list for the next 30 days. And it is also a report available under reports right at the bottom over there. And you click on the report icon. This will then show you a summary per person, the tasks that they need to achieve. And if you carry on to the next pages, you'll see a breakdown with details with any ad hoc work, annual, biannual work, and monthly work, each client that is affected. You can see a lot of VAT returns need to be done and progress and notes made as well. This really ensures that no team member misses a deadline and no clients are incurring penalties because we're forgetting what to do. From your dashboard, you can make notes, and these will update in the main task table as well. Notes that matter to the team, matter to the client need to be made. You will then also be able to see your progress selections. When a task is done, let's say, for example, this audit goes through, the financials are signed, everybody's happy. You can, from the all tasks due detail or the task table itself, mark the task as complete. That changes the status to completed. So in every task, there is a status column. And when you mark a task as completed, it then goes to the corresponding archive table. And here you can see a history of tasks that we've completed, the deadlines, any notes that were made, and this really helps for year-on-year tracking in terms of if billing was done, what sort of issues and lessons were learned. And because we don't really like to delete anything as clients, that sort of history is going to be crucial when there's a dispute with SARS or an issue with the client or an issue with a staff member. You can actually refer back to these tables at any time. In tables where there are a lot of records, like your all tasks due detail, learning to filter or search for the values that you are looking for is really crucial. If I am, for example, looking for my tasks where I am the partner, if I see my name in the partner column, I can right click and quickly filter on it. and that will filter those tasks for me. You can click on an applied filter at any time and change it to any other value, but you can also change the column that you want to filter on if it was the incorrect column by quickly changing it that way, and data grows will update. So you do not need to clear a filter in order to change your search, but it's so useful and easy to filter and find what value you are looking for. In later training, we will cover the advanced filters, but if you're curious and you need help, click on the little help icon inside the filter block and it will take you to the post that explains all about the search filter sort. When it comes to submitting a VAT return or tax return to NAMRA, there could very well be a verification of that return where you are required to submit supporting documents. DataGrows helps you to track that verification from with any task to do with NAMRA. You can check the verification checkbox. When you click save, it will create a NAMRA task for you. And that will then bring through the name of the client, the correct task, and schedule an internal due date 7 days from today to help you to remember to submit your supporting documents. This is where we will need your feedback to begin with, whether or not the supporting documents that we've listed in the subtask are applicable to Namibia. These are the ones applicable to South Africa, but they will help you then to keep track of those documents as you get them together. You can then also keep track of when you've submitted your supporting documents so that you can trace them to actually complete your verification for you and store case numbers and notes as things progress from there. So the number of tasks table will also assist you other than verifications for any additional applications for tax types, deregistrations, any disputes, and things like that. And again, if you see anything SA specific here, please let us know. But they're really helpful in both countries to make sure that the receiver of revenue actually is held accountable to these applications and verifications so that the client is serviced correctly and on time. For BIPA related changes, that's things like new companies, changes to directors, and anything in between. You can use the BIPA tasks table. And here we've also listed the required supporting documents by South Africa. So again, forgive me if there's anything I need to change, but the list of information and documents required to register a company will be given under the subtask, and similarly with any other task that you select. And again, this helps you to track the completion between submitting your supporting documents versus getting the task completed. And it also helps you to track to actually bill and invoice your client correctly as well. Now, speaking of billing, whether you invoice per hour or fixed retainers only or fixed amounts only, the most crucial thing an accountant sells is their time. So whether or not, as I said, you bill per second or you bill per service, you need to know whether or not that service is profitable. And DataGrows has eliminated manual timesheets by introducing this little play button that you will notice throughout the app. By opening a task and clicking play, DataGrows will track the time for you and you can carry on with the task for the client. As soon as you are done, you simply click stop. That start and stop function has then created a time log record for you with the name of the client, the task, and worked out your duration for you. We also indicate the task status so that you can ensure tasks that need to be billed on completion are only pushed through the authorization process when their status is completed. Timekeeping in Datagrows is really, really easy. We have a phone app available in the Google Play Store where you can also log your time, but you can also access Datagrows on any device through your browser on that device. And it's amazing for tracking time while you're sitting in NUMRA's offices or driving to clients or working late at night. That little play button is going to save you so much time and effort and really makes the service overall that much more profitable. We then also provide you profitability reports if you set up your billing through Data Grows so that you can actually determine whether or not a service is worthwhile, whether or not a client is profitable, whether or not a team member is profitable. We will assist you with all of that. Logging your time through the play button is our recommended way, but if you do forget to push play, you can capture a manual time log record. You simply click add record, choose the client, if applicable, the task that you worked on, add your notes, and then edit your start and end time. So it's really easy to do if you do forget to push play. And if you forget to push stop, for example, and a task runs longer than it should have, you can also amend a task or time log record that was logged by simply changing the start or end time as well. To help you summarize and keep track of the tasks and your time and things like that, we have created reports, and I showed you the your to-do list report. But things like accounts and hours will show you your time logged for the week. This will give you a daily summary as you work so that you can see your daily total plus weekly total. And then the accounts and times allows you to pull a longer date range for your team members or yourself. And we'll show you here a graph of each team member's time worked plus summaries of hours per day, per task per day, per task, and then in total. And this is really crucial if timesheets matter to you, and it's easy for the staff to pick up gaps as well as also see what time they've spent on which tasks without a huge effort. Other reports that are here, a lovely one is the birthdays report, and we have an automated email that actually connects to a client's birthday. Future tasks, this is a great report if you want to plan for leave, for example. Datagrows does only schedule certain tasks far ahead, but if you are worried about any major deadlines, things like tax returns and financials, we will schedule a little bit ahead of time, and this will help you to make sure that you plan correctly and have enough time for all your tasks. Other ones include a VAT returns dashboard, provisional tax dashboard, and various other reports to help you maintain those deadlines. Next, in today's training, I want to show you how to invite your team members to Datagrows. It's really easy to add a user. You'll simply navigate to the setup department and click on the accountants table. Here, you'll click on add record, save their name and email address. You can then choose their employment status as employed and then their role. If you are unsure of what each of these roles do, Datagrows explains very nicely and clearly in the blog post or information icon over here. And basically, each role is custom to your needs and how you set them up. So we do provide a sort of best practice suggestion per role, especially when we add new features. But you can customize what those templates or roles mean under the user roles section. We will cover that step by step when we do the next set of training, but the safest role to add for a bookkeeper or sort of mid-level employee would be accountant. Your juniors would be your clerks, managers, team lead, and then partners in the firm would be either partner or supervisor. But if you're unsure or if you forget, always remember you can click on that info icon and it will explain that to you. Click save and edit or save and new when you're done, and that person will receive an invite to Data Grows and they can then log in and be assigned to clients. If you are unsure or want to customize a user's access, you can change it to a custom role and then copy it from one of the templates that is closest to the roles that you want. And then under accountant rights, you can then fully customize that user and the access that they need to have within the system. You can see quite a lot of tables and spaces that you can give access to, and that means you have full control over what a custom user has access to in Data Grows.